Welcome back. This is episode 18, October 17th, Two Beats, One Drum. I'm Aaron. This is Jay.
Yes, sir.
Welcome back for those who are watching. If you're not watching, you plan on watching later, thank you. We appreciate the support. Like and subscribe. Let's get right into it, man. There's a lot that happened this weekend. Very good weekend for sports. He's got baseball going on.
Yeah.
NBA preseason's in full swing. The season starts next Wednesday. Next Wednesday. College football. Big games are rolling in.
Man.
Had a good weekend in college football last weekend. These NFL games are highly contested. With that, let's go ahead and start off with the NFL, man, because there's a lot of stuff that went down over the weekend. What we got first, Brad?
Yeah, you guys, we just wrapped up week 6 of NFL, and it was a wild Sunday full of upsets and close games. Let's get started with this one. What was the biggest upset for you guys this weekend?
Oh, probably that Philadelphia game, man.
Okay.
I guess Zach Wilson is that dude, man.
Hey, man, listen. I tried to tell people, man. Just Coach Saleh has the pulse of his team. There's no other. I said there's no other option for them. They have to ride the backup quarterback.
And that defense, man.
That defense is legit.
What, it was 3 interceptions?
Yeah,
that's crazy.
4 turnovers overall. They dominated the Eagles, man. Yeah. That was the first time we've seen the Eagles get dominated up front.
Yeah,
but that's to be expected when you play the Jets. That's the strong point of that defense is that
you don't have your quarterback. Let's get Zach Wilson all the possessions he can handle, man. And
can you believe that they're 3-3?
I can't.
3-3 through the like. Even with Aaron Rodgers, I was projecting them to potentially lose all those games, but shoot, if they had Aaron Rodgers, they might be undefeated for all we know.
The defense is better than advertised. I knew they were good
for sure,
but the way they're holding this team up, and they look good, man.
Yeah,
they're creating turnovers, which was that's crazy, man. I just
you gotta tip your hat to him, man.
Yeah,
you gotta. And I think Sauce Gardner didn't play the last game.
Nah, he didn't.
And I think they were missing another cornerback or something like that. So for them to pretty much shut down the Eagles the way they did,
what it was, Quentin Williams and his brother both had turnovers. That's crazy.
Yeah, yeah, it's pretty wild, man. How well they play on defense. They're definitely a playoff contender.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I think we can go ahead because now the schedule lightens up for them, and I mean, they can easily win 7 of the next 11 games. Finish 10-7. Who knows? They might compete for the division for all we know.
So what about that 49ers game? What do you think?
I would say it's a good loss, is how I put it. Okay. I wouldn't say it was an upset necessarily because Cleveland's defense is legit.
They're legit.
They're legit. And for San Francisco to lose McCaffrey and Debo, Trent Williams left at some point in the game. They didn't have Drake Greenlaw. So I feel like that was a bigger loss for them. Not having him in the game because he's the second anchor to that defense behind who's the linebacker? I forget the middle linebacker, the good linebacker. But yeah, I mean it was a tough game. Yeah. They still had a chance to win at the end of it.
I've been having issues with these referees, man.
Well, what's your issue?
Them, to me, is a lot of games decided on pass interference calls that just like the 49er game, they should have been out of it long before they were with that last drive.
Yeah, I know which one you're talking
That
about.
was not a pass interference. It's I don't know, man. Just when it comes to deciding games, it was set up for San Francisco to win that game
For sure.
if not miss that field goal. And I think a big part of it was because of that pass interference call. Other than that, that was a fourth down play.
Yeah, I believe it's 4th and 10.
Like
I think it was you talking about the hit.
Yeah.
On they called it a defenseless receiver.
Yes.
Which he hit him in the chest with his shoulder and stuff like that.
It's when it's game time, like fourth quarter, 2 minutes, like these calls need a little more discretion. I think it's just, you throw your flag and
I don't know. I understand what you're saying. I feel like if the refs are going to throw the flag, okay, throw the flag. But I think at least at some point there needs to be a level of accountability, I guess, on the refs' part. Like if they get the call wrong, can we go back and correct it?
It should be some kind of challenge or some kind of. Yeah, it's been too many games I've seen this year where it was just like, okay, game on the line. I don't want the ref deciding the game.
For sure.
It's been.
It kind of leaves a bad taste in your mouth for sure.
Yeah.
Because Cleveland should have, if essentially the game would have been over if that flag wouldn't have been thrown. So
they wouldn't have had a chance for the PAT and it'd have been over.
Yeah.
With that game, hey, because we talked about it last week when we were talking about quarterbacks. Purdy, he stayed tough, man. He didn't, he could have folded.
That's where I wanted to go.
Could have folded.
I wanted to go there because we both had him in our top 5.
Yeah.
As top quarterbacks in the NFL, and he had a bad game. He's going against statistically, I guess, the number 1 defense. Yeah. So for him to drive the field, put them in field goal range, showed me everything I needed to see. Thanks. Honestly, he didn't have his 2 best weapons. He still had George Kittle out there, but at that point, you're just going to double Kittle and do what you can with Ayuk and stuff, and they still put him in position to win the game.
Yeah.
So I didn't see anything different out of Purdy. He was steadfast. It was a tough game. It was raining. They going up against a good defense. Myles Garrett was wreaking havoc. Jim Schwartz seems to have Kyle Shanahan's number when he plays him. So
yeah,
it was a tough game, and they still had the chance to win.
And Walker, quarterback for
PJ Walker,
man, played tough against 49ers defense.
Made some bonehead throws, that's for sure.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, the one in the end zone, I was like, oh my.
There was a few of them that should have been picked off.
Wow.
And I was just like, nah, but he stayed the course and made the plays when they needed it. So,
okay.
I'd have loved to see Deshaun Watson in that game.
Yeah,
man.
For sure.
Like whatever's going on there, I don't know, man. Stop playing, get back to the game, man.
Yeah, for real. But I mean, if it's just throwing shorter, then it's kind of understandable. But if it's not his throw, I don't know if it's just throwing. Is it his throwing short or is it not throwing short?
I'm not sure, man.
It's just a funny situation. But I mean, they mortgaged the franchise on him, so I guess you want to make sure that he's well and good before he comes back. So yeah. Eagles was the biggest. The Jets upsetting the Eagles is the biggest upset. Definitely. To answer the question directly, I think so, because nobody was expecting the Eagles or the Jets to beat the Eagles. Like I don't think that was supposed to happen.
Did you watch the game?
I watched. Yeah, I mean, I watched it towards I think the fourth quarter I watched, and
did you see the beginning of the game?
I did not.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
it was just the first throw of the game was. Jalen Hurts had I think a defensive end like basically in a stiff arm and made just a ridiculous pass, man. And I was just like, it was one of those moments where you was like, wow, like it was crazy, man. I was just like, he's a tough guy, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So, but they'll be all right. Philly will bounce back.
It'll be all right.
And
they'll definitely be all right.
Oh yeah.
Let's get into the other games.
Which you want to?
Ravens, they look good.
They look good.
CJ, go ahead.
Let's get to that game.
Yeah.
I know you want to talk about CJ a little bit.
Yeah. Go ahead, man.
Let me talk about these Saints, man. Man, I feel like, okay, last year we had Andy Dalton, and this year we got Derek Carr, which we paid $150 million. So I feel like right now we're sitting with $150 million Andy Dalton.
Whoa!
Derek Carr.
Jeez, man. Andy Dalton. You call him Derek Carr Andy Dalton?
Yes.
Jeez.
He hasn't done more than Andy Dalton in his career. So, Andy Dalton had a decent career in Cincinnati.
He did before he got hurt. Yeah.
And Derek Carr had a okay, and I was thinking, when we first got Derek Carr, I was like, he's playing for the Raiders. That organization been messed up for a while, office wise, and I like maybe it's just a change and he'll need it, in New Orleans. And that's not it. He's not.
He's awful.
He's a top. I wouldn't even put him in the top 15.
Top 20.
Top 20 maybe, but
we're talking 20. We're not talking.
It's just his ceiling is wild card games. You know what I mean? I don't see him taking us further than that. Stuck with him another couple years because we owe him money unless we can somehow get up out of that. Get off.
You're already ready to move off of him,
man. It's a
bro. It's been 6 games.
It's a lose situation, man. He's not taking us. He's not taking us on a playoff run, man. He's not that guy. He cannot move this offense with buku weapons, man. We got weapons galore, and it's like, why
is that his problem? Is that his fault or is it the offensive coordinator's fault?
And last week I was blaming the offensive coordinator. Okay, so this week I'm blaming him.
Firmly put it on there
because at the end of the day, make the throws. He's holding the ball way too long. Make the throws. If you giving your receivers, like why points I see Chris Olave not running hard or because he knows before he's not letting the ball go. At some point you got to throw the ball, man.
Yeah.
And
is it it sounds like it's just a trust thing to me.
I don't know, man.
He's not trusting what he sees. That must be the reasoning behind it because Derek Carr has played better than what he's playing now for a far worse organization.
Yeah.
So the only thing I could come up with is just a confidence thing or a trust thing. He's not trusting what he's seeing yet. He doesn't know. He's not familiar with the players that surround him yet.
It's been 6 games.
6 games, man.
6 games.
You got 17, bro.
Man.
You got 11 more to go. It's early.
Like, and I could see us winning the next few games, but there's no confidence in him to take us past a wild card game, man.
Okay.
Like,
you're off of the New Orleans Saints bandwagon then.
Nah, I'm still a Saints fan.
But you're off of the Saints bandwagon for this year.
The thing was, I wasn't surprised that we lost. You know what I mean? Like we
Oh, wait, I'm talking about. Hold on. You picked him to win, though.
I did pick him to win, but at the end of the game, after we missed 2 field goals, and then we didn't have the confidence to kick a field goal when we needed it.
Yeah, because your field goal kicker missed 2 kicks. That's what probably was.
Fourth quarter, we were down. I was like, we're not winning the game.
You just didn't feel they were going to come back.
I felt like Andy Dalton would not bring us back to.
Oh God, you're calling him Andy Dalton flat out?
Like I even.
Oh man, the disrespect on Derek Carr.
Like I
called him Derek.
I didn't have no kind of confidence that he would.
Jeez, man. So, he called him Andy Dalton. Multiple times.
Thanks, man. I rather lose with Jameis than.
No,
come on, man.
At least James is gonna grip and rip it. So I mean, I guess I see what you're saying.
Facts.
I don't know. I don't know what's going on, man. Yeah. With it, I think they'll figure it out. My guess. I think he's just. Maybe I am overvaluing Derek Carr. Maybe I need to just come along to your side and see what everybody else is.
Yeah,
I don't know. I've always been a Derek Carr fan. I don't think he's that bad.
He's gonna be our quarterback for the foreseeable future.
Yes,
but,
you paid him like he's going to be. It's his first year.
Man.
Even Aaron Rodgers had issues when he switched from Mike. What's his name?
We'll see. Like, it's definitely. I feel we need a new coordinator, maybe even a new coach. Dennis Allen, he's a defensive guy.
That's the problem right there.
That might be the problem.
There you go. He needs an offensive coach.
Let's get somebody in there, man. Let's get somebody in there. But
could you bring up the rest of the games, Brad?
Yeah.
Let's see which other ones stood out. It's the Colts. Let's just go ahead and get some. Let's just go ahead and lose. I just
try to get Marvin Harrison.
Yeah, there you go. That's what I'm talking about. Bears. I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
Why would I be surprised?
What about the Bengals? The Bengals back?
No.
Beating
the Seahawks, who I picked, is nothing. I'm sorry. Let's see about the Bengals when they come back from their bye week. I think they played the 49ers.
Joe Burrow looks more comfortable though.
All right, we'll find out when he plays the 49ers. That's what I'm gonna say.
Raiders, Patriots.
Impressive win by the Browns. Detroit, I'm blown away how good they. Yeah, I'm sold on them.
Yeah. The Buffalo game was.
What is wrong with the Bills?
That was. What was the spread?
That was one of your picks. It was like 14.
14.
I said, man, I was like, you sure about that? I was like, man, you picking a lot of big spreads, man.
I expected them to cover that spread. And
nah.
They just let me down.
Yeah, they did.
Let's
get to this Cowboys thing. I am so sick and tired of ESPN talking about the Cowboys. Can we please stop talking about the Cowboys? Please. For the love of God, please stop talking about the Cowboys.
Hey.
You know what they came up with today on First Take? They had the audacity to ask, are the Cowboys on the same level? Are the Cowboys on the same level as the Eagles? Huh? What? After they just got their asses handed to them a couple weeks ago? What?
Hey.
And they get a measly 3-point win against San Diego or against the Chargers, who nobody's surprised they lost because they have a horrible coach and no defense. The Chargers have the 32nd ranked defense in the league, pass defense in the league. The 32nd ranked pass defense in the league. So are we surprised that Dak Prescott had a good passing game? We shouldn't be. We shouldn't be surprised that they won the game. In fact, that's a game they're supposed to win. But don't sit here and come back and ask the next day, not even 8 days removed from when they got their asses handed to them by the 49ers, if they're on the same level as the Eagles. Come on, man. ESPN, all these networks, stop, man. It's really just ESPN because they love the Cowboys for some odd reason on ESPN. Love them. That's why the Cowboys have so much vitriol and hate towards them because of that mess right there. Are they on the same? No, they're not. They're not even close to the same level as the Eagles. Not even. So why even ask the question?
I feel like their so-called top-tier defense took a step back.
If Michael Parsons isn't getting to the quarterback, their defense is average, bro. It's really not as great as everybody's making it out to see. Now, their defensive front is good. Very good. But as we saw against the 49ers, they could get pushed around. The Eagles are going to show you when they play the Eagles that they can push them around. The Detroit Lions, I bet, can push them around. So stop with this Cowboys. What's the word I'm looking for? Stop with the Cowboys. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they're not that team, man. Until they do it, we are not going to believe them. They had their chance a couple weeks ago on Sunday night, and they blew it.
They blew it.
They just said we don't need to hear about the Cowboys anymore.
Cowboys fans up for the letdown, man.
It's so stupid, man. I'm so sick of it, man. When I saw that question this morning, I just cringed, bro. Cringed because it's a cringe-worthy question. Anyway, I'm done. What we got next, Brad?
I just want to let you guys know, I think you'd be proud of me. I was talking trash to a Cowboys fan who's A friend of mine, he's a checker at the grocery store.
Yeah.
You know, I was letting him have it, so represent. After 6 weeks of action, guys, I'm curious to know, who do you guys see as the top teams in the NFC and AFC conference? We'll start with you, Jay.
My top teams.
Who's your top team?
My top team.
You got the Dolphins. You got the Bills. You got the Ravens. You got Kansas City sitting at 5-1.
That's tough. I'm probably running with Kansas City because they haven't,
they've done it.
I think they lost that first game because they didn't have Kelsey, didn't have Chris Jones, and the Detroit Lions surprised the shit out of them. But yeah, I probably take Kansas City.
Who you got in the NFC?
That's tough.
You got 3 teams sitting at 5-1: Detroit, San Francisco, or the Eagles.
That's why it's tough.
It's not as tough as you make it sound.
It's not because I don't know. I want to see Detroit play.
Top tier team
For sure. I'm gonna take Philly.
You're gonna ride with Philly. Okay.
I'm gonna take Philly over Purdy because Purdy still got a lot to prove. I trust Jalen Hurts more than I trust Purdy, so I'll take Philly.
You trust Jalen Hurts over Purdy?
Yes.
Interesting. My top teams. I've seen enough out of Miami to go ahead and put them as a top team.
I'm not mad at that.
I've seen enough, bro. Do you know that Tyreek Hill is on pace for 2,300 yards receiving, which would absolutely obliterate the receiving record set by Calvin Johnson? I think it was 1,947.
Yeah.
Obliterate it. He's averaging, I think, 130 something yards a game, bro. Like, and for the love, I don't understand why anybody would think we're gonna play him man to man.
Never.
Like, every team does it every week.
Never.
And he burns them every single time they do it. I do not understand it. I have no clue why you would try to say that.
You gotta guard Jalen Waddle. You gotta worry about Mostert.
And
you gotta worry about Etienne.
And that's the reason why I have him number one, bro. Because I know there's defense that slowed them down, but I don't think there's too many defenses that's going to have anything to do with them.
Because they can play so fast, man.
Yeah.
They can play so fast.
They can play with pace if they want to. They get you on your hip. They're a well-oiled machine, man. I would love to see them get to top-tier defense. I know they lost to Buffalo and stuff, but I think that was just a perfect storm. Buffalo was coming off of Buffalo had some stuff going on. Buffalo's not as good as we need them out to be. I don't.
It's teams that's gonna take losses this year
for sure.
Yeah, I mean, so
for sure,
that's just what it's gonna be.
Nobody's going undefeated in this league. My top team in the NFC, 49ers. Until proven otherwise, I know the Eagles had home field advantage last year. I thought the Niners were a better team last year.
Okay,
and I definitely believe they're a better team this year. Purdy to me he's a solid performer when he needs to be.
Yeah.
I didn't think like I said earlier, I don't think last week's game.
Let me say this about Purdy.
Yes, go ahead.
He's been great at managing the game, not turning over the ball, but I've yet to see him just take over a game.
He doesn't need to though.
That's what I'm saying. So when he needs to,
he kind of had to this last game, man.
He had to, and
it wasn't. He didn't have. It wasn't. He wasn't expected to throw for 400 yards like Tom Brady in the past or no other great quarterbacks of the past. But
I need to see him go through that, and I want to see how he come out on the other side. I need like not just one game, I want to see him in these tough games, and you know what I mean, because he might be that dude. You know what I mean?
He might be, or he might not. I think there's just a lot of questions to be asked about.
Yeah.
No.
But so far in his career, he's been
Absolutely
excellent.
He's lost one game.
Facts.
One game. And you can't even really say it was his fault he lost the game because he put him in position to win the game. If the kicker, which was money all year, made the kick, I mean, we're not even talking about how he looks. So I think they're the best team. Detroit, second best. I think I've seen enough out of Detroit to call them the second best team in the conference. Philadelphia, close third. I mean, you're splitting hairs between Detroit and Philadelphia, but Jared Goff he's been balling, bro.
He's been balling.
They got a good roster and a good defense. They got a good offensive scheme. They're going to surprise a lot of teams this year.
Yeah, I need consistency. That's why
from who? Detroit?
From Detroit, from Purdy. That's why
how much more consistency you need?
That's why I'm putting the Eagles over them, because the Eagles been consistently good for the last 2-3 years, and he was what 8-0. Purdy was what 8-0 last year, and then what 5-0 up until this week. Yeah, when he got hurt last year, so we didn't really.
He had an opportunity. Then they singled up what's his name? The guy that has a couple sacks last week.
Yeah.
Forget his name. I'm forgetting all kinds of names. Oh, Hassan Reddick. Yeah, that's what it was. Hassan Reddick. He wrecked the whole thing for them.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's get to these picks, man. Let's get to these results. It was a mediocre week for me, man, and I officially need to change some tactics here.
Yeah.
But a 2-3 week for me, 3-2 week for you. That puts us at as you one game ahead, which is fine. I'm gonna catch, but I'm going 5-0 this week because we're going to change our tactics. I'm going to change my tactics. We're not going to. We're not going 2-3 again, man. We can't have that.
And I don't want to go 3-2. I need to at least be 4-1, 5-0.
I give you that. Okay. Let's get to these picks, man. Our 5-star picks for week 7 are here. And I'm going to go 5-0.
Yes.
My first one, I don't see anything out of the Giants to make me believe that they're going to do anything.
Yeah.
I know it's a rivalry game against the Commanders. I just don't see anything from the Giants to make me believe that they're going to win any other games this year.
Nah, Saquon didn't even look like himself, man.
So I'm just going to go ahead, take those 2 points that the Commanders are getting, and roll with the Commanders.
Okay. My first pick, I'm taking Andy Dalton and the Saints.
Oh, Andy Dalton.
Nah, I'm taking Derek Carr and the Saints, man. I feel like
a must-win game for them.
Must win to bounce back.
Okay.
No Trevor Lawrence. Okay.
Trevor Lawrence I think he's gonna play.
He's gonna play.
Yeah, he's gonna have a knee brace on.
All right, and we at home. Okay, so yeah, I'll take that 1 point.
Okay.
Yeah.
My next one, I hate to do it, but I'm gonna have to do it. Gardner Minshew didn't look good last week, and he's definitely not going to look good this week against the top-ranked defense in the Browns. So I'm going to go ahead and take those 2 points that the Browns are getting and pick against my squad.
I also took Cleveland.
Okay, you took that same game?
I took that same game.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Good pick. Solid pick. Sorry, Colts. Let's just get Richardson back for next year. It sucks that I don't even know what to say anymore, man. I wish Andrew Luck still played. I miss you, Andrew Luck. I miss you. I do. Anyways, my third pick. I don't see anything from the Steelers to make me believe that they're going to do anything offensively against the Rams. I know the Rams' defense is so-so, but their offense is legit. Cooper Kupp looks like he ain't missed a step. Stafford is playing very well. McVay scheming up defenses like he's always done. I'm going to take the Rams and that,
3 points.
I'm going to take those 3 points, man. Absolutely.
I'm gonna take Baltimore.
Ooh. Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir. Over who are we playing? Detroit.
Okay.
I'm taking them over Detroit.
That was a game I was like, nah, I'm staying away from that, man.
Yeah, I mean, I like how Baltimore playing.
Me too. They look good.
They got the -3 points. Ugh, it would have been 1 point. I'd have been a little more certain, but I feel more comfortable. But I'm gonna take them over Detroit, man. Detroit been on the road. I think this will be the game that if they win this game, I'll put them over Philadelphia.
Oh man.
So
if they win this game, yeah, they're
definitely over Philadelphia. But
I'll still hold.
I'm taking Baltimore. Though.
I'll still reserve. I'll have a little reservation till the Niners. I'm just a firm believer in the Niners. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Good pick though. I was a little afraid of that pick. My other pick. Has anybody seen the Dolphins this year? Do you know they have the most I think they're averaging the most yards ever since like 1958 Colts team. Are the Eagles going to do anything against that defense or against that offense? Absolutely not. I understand the Eagles are favored. I don't believe they should be.
Wow.
I'm rolling with the Dolphins.
Okay. That's a tough pick too. So.
I'm rolling with the Dolphins.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. So my next pick is an easy one. I took Buffalo.
Man, you still riding the Josh Allen train, huh?
Yeah.
Or you just you like betting against old Bill?
They're playing the Patriots, right?
Yeah, they're playing the Patriots.
Yeah,
I think they're favored by 9.
Yeah, I'll take that all day.
That 9 is a deterrent for me. If it hadn't been 3, I'd have been like, all right, I'm good on that one. I'd have been great on that one.
Yeah,
but
they were plus 14 last weekend.
Yeah, I think they're a little overrated. I think after what we saw Sunday night, I didn't even watch the game. Well, I was like, oh, ain't even need watching this game.
Stephon Diggs, childish. Childish.
Is he still acting childish?
Always. Yeah, he's a diva.
Hey, listen, if I was down to the Giants, I would be acting a fool too. Fool too, man. I'm sorry. You shouldn't be down to the Giants at any point. Anyways. My last one. I'm sorry, Vikings. You're catching the Niners on the wrong day, bro.
Bounce back.
After a loss to, woo! No Justin Jefferson. They ain't worried about anybody on your team.
6 points easy.
Is it 6 or 7?
6.5, 6.5.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna take that 6.5 then, since it says this is 6.5 on here. That's where I got it from. It must last pick, that's weird. It changed.
I'm rolling with my homeboy, Patrick in Kansas City.
At my home.
Yes, sir.
Who they play?
Chargers.
Oh, yeah, they play the Chargers.
5 points. Give me that.
Okay. All right. We'll see how these picks work out. I feel very good about my picks this week. You know what's funny? Is I almost took that Commanders versus Falcons game last week, and I didn't do it. I actually crossed it right here. Look, you see it right here. Crossed it off to take the Seattle stinking Seahawks over the Bengals.
So if y'all want to bet this week, go ahead and bet my picks. The Buffalo game, take the points. Even 9 is a lot.
It is a lot.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. I think it's a lot. I think it's too high. Bill Belichick ain't gonna go out like this.
He is.
He is. He is. Hey, look.
He is, man. I think it's his time.
It is.
Nobody's gonna be mad. Nobody's gonna take. It's not a blemish. Is it a blemish?
Yes. We discussed this last week. It's kind of a when you have a receiver that you had on your team last year, you go up against him and the guy plays for the Raiders, Jacoby Myers to be specific.
Yeah. And
you had him on your team and you let him go for some of the garbage you have thrown out there on your field week in and week out.
I feel you.
That says a lot. That's all I'm going to say about that. Those are our picks. let's get to this college stuff because I've been waiting to talk about this.
Yes,
What we got
onward to college football. Kicking off here with Oregon versus University of Washington, a classic game Saturday. Huskies defeat the Ducks 36-33. Your thoughts on the game, boys?
Go ahead.
Man, Michael Penix Jr., he's a stud, bro.
He is.
He took hits. And he was hurt at one point. You could tell he was gripping his ribs. And when they needed it, dropped the absolute dime.
He did.
It was beautiful, bro. I was just like, and this is my first time watching them actually a whole game, not watching just highlights. And it was a good game overall. But he just showed me that he's
an NFL quarterback.
He is an NFL quarterback and probably moved up in the Heisman vote.
I think he's firmly in the favorite position.
Yeah.
Heisman. For me, yeah. If I was going to vote, he'd get my vote. After that game. Washington, they look. This is my first. I've watched Washington, a lot. From the Seattle area and stuff like that. And this is by far their best team. My only concern with them is when they play those teams from like the Big Ten.
Yeah.
Which we're going to find out about them next year when they're in the Big Ten next year. So when they play against like a Michigan or an Ohio State or an SEC team, how's it going to look? They got good receivers. They got good skill players and stuff. But they played Oregon. I picked Oregon to win, and Oregon, they had their chances to win the game. I feel like they took a little too many risks. No, they should have taken the points at the end of the first half instead of trying to go for the touchdown. I feel like they were a little over aggressive and trying to steal momentum.
Yeah.
And playing to the crowd.
That's what you're supposed to do. You know what I mean?
You got to play to win the game. You got to play to win the game, and the right play would have been to take the points.
Okay.
Because
understandable.
It's just, would you rather take 3 points or would you rather take nothing? I understand the ultimate reward is 7.
Yeah.
But the ultimate, the alternative to that is 0.
Yeah.
I'm taking the points. That's just me. You saw what they lost by, right?
Yeah.
36-33, right? So that's
can't
leave. If I'm a coach, I'm not leaving points on the board.
I feel that.
Yeah, I'm not leaving points on the board, and I feel like they were a little too overzealous in trying to establish an identity of being aggressive and stuff. But being overly aggressive can work to your detriment at times, and I feel like in that game, it worked to their detriment.
I feel like it was the game of who has the better quarterback.
Okay.
And so you take risks. You know what I mean? Bo Nix is a veteran. This is what is
fifth year.
Fifth year.
Yep.
And you put faith in him, and
he played well.
You live with that, man. Like if I got a freshman, if I got a sophomore in that position, I'm taking the 3 points.
Okay.
But to say I got a veteran,
I get you. We both.
I'll take a shot.
You make a very good point. I'll give you that.
I'll take a shot.
You believe in your offense and stuff, but it kind of had to feel it was going to be a highly contested, a close game. So I mean, leaving points off the board in a game that's going to be, you kind of had a feeling it was going to be close. It's kind of hard to do, man, for me. But I also see your point. You put in trust in your 5th-year senior quarterback. He's a Heisman candidate himself. He's balled out all year up to that point. Yeah, it's just, I don't know. You
taking them points.
Yeah, I'm taking them points. But I feel you. I know being aggressive and going for 7. It was a good game. I felt like it was going to be a game for which team had the ball last, but they had their chance. Even then, they still had their chance at the end. It was just a missed kick, and it just missed too. So, very good game. I mean, they didn't punish Oregon.
No.
Too bad. I think they only dropped one spot. I think they were 8th, right?
Yeah.
They dropped them to 9th. So, They're still in contention. Everything's
Right.
just still in front of them.
Still competitive. Still,
Yeah. Let's get to this next game, man, because
Yeah, moving on, we have Colorado blowing, guys, absolutely blowing. 29-0 lead, eventually losing to Stanford.
Yeah.
Is this a low point for primetime and the Buffs?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead. Yes.
Not.
Bro, you can't lose to Stanford.
Nah, you can't. I don't think it's. I wouldn't say a low point. I think it's eye opener. I think it's
Okay, that's a good way of putting it.
It's just, you gotta play all 4 quarters.
And they haven't played all 4 quarters
Nah.
probably at any point this season.
Nah.
At all.
I think it's the fact that you've already exceeded expectations.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
And they're kind of feeling themselves a little bit.
Yeah, you're feeling yourself, man.
Yeah. Everybody's feeling how good they are.
You up 29-0.
Yeah, you got to.
Then you took your eyes off the prize, and it was just like, oh, we're gonna cruise through the second half.
Mm-hmm.
And Stanford had other things in mind.
They had other plans, yeah.
And they have athletes on their team. What's the receiver? Just thought everything they threw his way at one point. Stanford.
I think he had 290 something yards.
All they had to do is put it in his.
Wait, time out. Don't you have Travis Hunter out there on the field?
And he was abusing Travis Hunter.
He was beasting him.
But and that goes to the next point I wanted to make about Travis Hunter. You got to pick. You can't play both sides all the time.
Okay.
Like if you're well. In this case, you playing Stanford, you probably think, well, he can play both sides. When you're gonna play some of these top teams, you're gonna have to make that decision to play receiver or corner, or just somehow limit his, you know what I mean, like only play, like 25%
to 75 defense.
But where would you rather? I'd rather see him more in the offense.
I think he's more offensive player.
I think he'll be more dynamic.
Is he? I don't know. I mean, we've only seen him a couple times.
Yeah.
Is he that dynamic of an offensive player? Okay.
Oh yeah. The few passes, the one he caught in the end zone when he took the hit, like anybody, 50% of those receivers would have caught the ball, got hit, and dropped it.
Mm-hmm.
And he's not really a stocky guy. He's slim.
Yeah.
And he held on to it. I was like, yeah. And it was nice seeing him run routes, like he's crisping his routes.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But defensively, when you coming off, you playing both sides defensively, you kind of like a risk, man, taking that risk of, being wore out in the fourth quarter. You know what I mean? So that's what happened to me. He was wore out. Fourth quarter that
was his first game back too.
Yeah,
from the injury.
Yeah,
so
you gotta.
He probably shouldn't have been playing as many snaps.
Yeah, you got to pick a side.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he's going to have to pick a side eventually when he goes to the next level.
Yeah,
they're not going to let him play both sides. So
it's not 1988 anymore, man. Yeah, I mean,
and you're not Dion.
You're not Dion, bro.
You're not Dion, but
yeah,
you're pretty close, bro. Pretty close. We'll give you that. Anyway, bad loss for now, but they'll bounce back. Dion, I have them ready. This isn't their year this year, so let's just remember that they won one game a year ago, and they're already at what, 4?
4 games.
I set the over under at 8, so they're going to be close. Anyway, what we got next, Brad?
Next up, Notre Dame blows out USC 48-20. Did you guys see this coming?
I did not.
I did say they could lose at Notre Dame. You go check the tape. I did say it last weekend on the show. I did say they could lose to Notre Dame. I didn't see a 28-point victory though.
Let me say this. Caleb Williams looks bored. He doesn't look challenged anymore.
He's not.
You know what I mean?
He's not.
And this game to me should have been where it was like, okay, when you play these tougher opponents, you need to. I guess he has nothing to prove.
No.
Yeah, I mean, like I don't think I don't feel like they ever thought that this could be a national title contending team.
You don't feel like they thought that?
Not with that defense.
Mm.
The defense is
atrocious.
Yeah, I mean,
they didn't play that bad in this last game. They didn't,
but I feel like he's bored. Like, so the comment about he might stay in college next year,
yeah,
I doubt it.
Let me jump in here, man, because I saw something online, and these fans of football and stuff think they know what they talk about because the Huskies get a few wins, and Seahawks get a few wins and stuff like that. Listen to me, you guys don't know a damn thing, okay? To sit here and suggest that Caleb Williams isn't really the number one pick because he had one bad game, and he's not the number one pick. You see flaws in his game? What? What have you guys been watching? This is clearly easily the number one pick. Facts. If you want to compare somebody to Pat Mahomes, look no further than Caleb Williams. Facts. He's the closest thing we have to Pat Mahomes since Pat Mahomes came out, okay? So forget whatever thoughts you have in your mind about how he looked on Saturday. It was kind of inevitable. It was the perfect storm for them to lose that game. But to suggest that he's not the number one pick because he has one bad game, you don't know football, man. Okay? If he left right now, he'd be drafted. There's half the teams in the NFL would take him right now.
Facts.
Right this second. Without having to take a snap in the NFL. They would take him right now. So miss me with this, I see flaws in this game. Stop. Enough, man. Easily the number one pick. It's not even close. Go look at one of his throws he made. I think it's not this against the Notre Dame, the week before that, where he's looking to his left and then he throws right. Facts. I mean, there is only maybe a handful of people that can make that throw in the league.
Even just his pocket presence.
Yeah.
Like his subtle movements. Not too many NFL quarterbacks could do that.
Absolutely not.
So yeah, they're tripping.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I don't.
But like I said, he looked kind of disinterested. Not,
he's just out there playing around.
Yeah, he's just playing, man. Like,
he's just out there balling and stuff like that. Leave the kid alone, man.
Yeah,
he's fine. But that Drake May, he looks good, man. He got that Tez Walker, man, and then he looks good. Looks very good. Anyway, let's get to the next subject, Brad. It's enough about
Absolutely. So we're going to look ahead to next weekend when the Nittany Lions head to the Horseshoe to play the Buckeyes. This Saturday at noon. Your prognostications on this top 10 matchup.
You used the word prognostications. Thank you, Brad. I appreciate that. I will give you my prognostications right now. We're missing a few players. Emeka Egbuka, Travion Henderson, and I believe missing another run back. Maya Williams didn't play. They're hurt. Hopefully they rested last week. Hopefully they can come back and play next weekend. We're missing Denzel Burke. Hopefully he's ready to play next weekend because we're going to need them against this team. We're favored by, I believe I saw the line was 4.5. If we were playing in Penn State, it'd be 1.5. They're giving us a field goal for being at home. That makes me believe we're going to win the game. But we have to do it. And the way we do it is we play good defense. We've been playing very good. These are the two top defenses in FBS right now. Two of the top best defenses in the FBS. We have to stay solid against this team. Now, I watched Penn State against Illinois. And a lot of people are riding high on Penn State this year. I'm not one to be doing that. I'm not so I'm not sold on the Nittany Lions like everybody else for whatever reason. Are you?
Not at all. I think if I was, I'd put them 10 points favorite.
Oh,
no.
Penn State. I'll give Penn State the respect they deserve. This version of Penn State is
who have they played though?
they have played absolutely nobody. They've played absolutely. That's the reason why I'm so baffled as to why everybody's riding high to Nittany Lions. Nittany Lions, Penn State looks good like this every single year until they play us. Until they play us, and then they stink. They do nothing.
That's what
We've
I'm
beaten
saying.
them 10 out of.
That's why I feel like 3 points is a little disrespectful, man. Like,
No, we're favored by 4.5.
4.5,
But
that's
I mean,
what
if it was,
I say at least a touchdown.
The only thing that's concerning is our offense is. We have these moments to where we don't look up to the challenge. Okay. That's my concern with Ohio State is there's moments in games where we don't look like we're up to the task.
Yeah.
Last weekend we looked like we were up to the task. It looked like we were preparing ourselves for Penn State last week.
Yeah.
I need to see that against Penn State.
Okay.
And so I'm going to give Penn State the respect they deserve. Undefeated. They've looked good all year. They always play us tough. That's the only reason why I'm giving them the respect. Because they usually play us tough. Because we're that team for them. But we've beaten you guys for the last 10 of the last 11 times. I'm expecting to win. That's all I'm going to say. Now, we have to go out there and do it.
Yeah.
But I'm expecting a win. Hopefully we have everybody out there on the field that's supposed to be playing.
What time is that game? 12 o'clock?
Yeah. 11 here. 11 local time for us. So I'm going to a little dog event stuff. I got to do the husband duties and I'll have it on the phone. That's for sure. It will be on.
All right.
I'll be tuned in, no doubt.
Honestly,
who you picking, man?
I'm picking Ohio State easy, man. Like
easy.
I don't know, bro. I just don't think it'll be a very competitive game. Like
that happened. I've shut a lot of people up. I know that.
I've only seen Penn State. Like I watch a few games while I'm at work cutting hair, and I look up, and what I mean, like they look okay.
Yeah,
they look okay.
Like I said, man, I saw them against Illinois, man. I just happened to turn it on, and Illinois was hanging in there until they had a couple turnovers, and Penn State pulled away at the end. Like that was Illinois.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. I think 4.5 is a modest number, but I'm willing to bet we win that game. How we win that game, I don't know. Just win the game.
Yeah,
it's a top 10 matchup, a rivalry game to a lesser extent. I mean, it ain't no Michigan or anything like that, but they haven't beaten us, really much at all the last 11 years. But
they play tough.
Here, not there.
All right, y'all win that one easy.
My man has faith in my squad. I love it.
I said it, man.
I love it. Let's go, Buckeyes. Anyway, what we got next, Brad?
All right, guys, switching up gears here. We got UFC 294 coming up this Saturday, Abu Dhabi card. Lots of last-minute shakeups to the main event and the co-main event. We'll start with the main here. So Alexander Volkanovski steps up on short notice to challenge Islam Makhachev in a rematch for the lightweight belt. What's your thoughts on this matchup, and who you got to win?
Did you see the fight last time, David?
I did not.
Okay. Well, it was a phenomenal fight, and if Alexander Volkanovski took the ground, being in certain positions on the ground, he would have probably won that fight. In a lot of people's eyes, he actually did win that fight. I didn't think so.
Okay.
I had it 3 rounds to 2 in that last matchup. With that said, this is a tall task. This is a tall task to step in on short notice. I wouldn't be surprised if Volkanovski came out here and win the fight. But if I'm a betting man, I'm going to pick Islam to win this fight. Yeah, he's still the bigger guy. At the end of the day, he's at home. He's on home soil, essentially, hypothetically home soil. And I think it's tough to ask a guy to come in on 10 days notice and win a fight. It's hard for me to imagine that he pulls it off. But if there's one guy that can do it, it's Volkanovski.
All right.
Without question. So
I'm gonna take your word for it, man. I might,
Throw a couple bucks down.
throw a couple bucks.
Yeah, I stay away. I stay as far away from betting on fights as I possibly can, bro. Because
UFC is too unpredictable.
it is anything can happen, bro. It could be. God forbid it actually happens, because I've seen too many of them happen. It could be a broken leg, and the guy who didn't break his leg won. Like it can be as simple as that, bro. There's too many unknowns that can happen in MMA for me to bet on MMA. So I will never do it, but anything's possible. What we got
in the
next,
co-main? We got Kamaru Usman also stepping up on short notice. So former welterweight champion coming up short notice to face Khamzat Chimaev at middleweight. What's your thoughts on this one?
Who you like, man? Honestly, I'm interested to see how he's gonna do in the weight class
in the 185. Yeah. Me too, man. We've never seen it.
So
we've never seen Usman at 185. Nah. I think it's a tall task.
Is it?
I think it's a tall task, bro. Khamzat is a monster.
Yeah,
he is. Now he's fought, I think, 2 185ers since his time in the UFC, which really wasn't anything. One fight lasted 17 seconds in Gerald Marchart. So we have no clue how good this guy is at 185. We see him at 170. He's won fights at 170, but I mean, if you ask me, that's just being a weight bully.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not impressive to me, going down and beating guys that are just smaller than you at the end of the day. So I'm not impressed by that. And I won't be impressed if he wins this fight against Usman, even though Usman was pretty much pound for pound up until he lost to Leon Edwards.
Yeah.
So I'm interested in the fight. I just don't know.
He look like he'll boost up to that 81, 85 pretty easily, but because he's a big dude. He's a big dude, but
yeah.
I don't know. Sometimes the power don't translate as well.
Yeah, Usman has some power, but I mean, I'm not sure about. I mean, I don't know, man, because it's not like he destroyed. When he fought Gilbert Burns, it's not like he knocked out Gilbert. He knocked him down, but it's not. Yeah. It wasn't like he was abusing him in there and stuff like that. It was just he just looked like the bigger guy. And Usman's a wrestler. He's kind of up there when it comes to his wrestling years and stuff like that.
And is that another 10-day notice?
Yes, it's another 10-day notice. So, it's crazy that both the main and the co-main events fell out on the exact same day.
Yeah.
I've never heard. I mean, actually, I have heard of that. Last time Chimaev fought, a couple fights fell out and stuff. It was pretty much by his own doing because he missed weight for 170, which was a mess. But he gets his opponent.
Yeah.
I think he wins the fight, but I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. Usman's, for him to be stepping in on this, he means he's up for the challenge and he's game.
Fact.
And he's not playing around. He's coming prepared. So, and he thinks he can win. So whoever wins this fight gets the next title fight against Strickland, which would be crazy for Chimaev to get the next title fight after you fought literally no one at 185 in the top 5. It would be unprecedented for it to happen. But that's how the UFC rolls. I'm not surprised.
That's where I wanted to go with a bonus question, actually. So, as you mentioned, this has been billed as a number 1 contenders match. Winner takes on Sean Strickland. Do you think that is fair? Do you think Duplessis, for example, is more worthy of a shot ahead of that? Or what are your thoughts?
Of course, Duplessis is more worthy of a title shot. But the UFC doesn't want Duplessis to be the champion. It's just that's how they do things. They want the stars to be the champions. They wanted what's his name? The guy who just beat Aljo, Sean O'Malley.
Yeah,
they wanted Sean O'Malley bad because they know the amount of eyes that he's going to bring.
Definitely.
They want the eyes on the sport. Sean O'Malley brings the eyes. They want Conor McGregor. They can't stop thinking about Conor McGregor coming back to MMA. Yeah. He ain't won a fight in years now.
Facts.
They can't wait for him to jump back into octagon because they know the amount of eyes that are going to be tuned into
Yeah,
that fight.
definitely.
The moment he steps in,
Definitely.
steps on that scale, or you saw the testing pool. Oh, wait, it's not USADA no more. We'll get into that in a minute. We'll get into that in a second. So Khamzat, he's been that guy. He's been a sensation, a physical freak of nature. We'll see if he's up to the task. I just don't understand why you would want anybody from over there. Not necessarily. I'm not discriminating over, the Russian fighters winning championship belts and stuff like that. It's just, I don't know. It doesn't have the same mystique as an American or somebody over on this side having the belt to me. But I don't think it's fair. But life's not fair, is it?
What an American perspective you have on this subject.
I'm just being honest, man. You don't hear anything about Islam.
Yeah, it's true.
You hear nothing about Islam. He's been the champion now for at least a year now.
Yeah.
At least a year. You hear nothing. You heard nothing from Khabib when he was champion. Nothing. They're just over there working out in the gym and stuff like that. You know what I mean? They're not making appearances on TV or anything like that. So that's just my thing. Like I don't know. I'm just being a homer. Well, anyway, let's get into this USADA thing. I know you were about to bring it up, Brett.
Yeah, great segue.
Go ahead.
Wrapping up our UFC talk, we have the USADA saga. So, U.S. Anti-Doping Agency came out last week and announced, quote, the relationship between USADA and UFC became untenable given the statements made by UFC leaders and others questioning USADA's principled stance that McGregor not be allowed to fight without being in the testing pool for at least 6 months. The following day, UFC reps held a press conference where Hunter Campbell, their chief business officer, stated, at no time did Jeff, myself, or any other UFC representative, not a single person, ever went to USADA and told them anything other than Conor McGregor would re-enter the program when he was healthy, and in doing so, we would require him to be in the program for 6 months, and that, finally, there would be no exception to the rule. Regardless of whose side you believe, USADA and UFC are parting ways as of January 1st. Your reaction to this saga?
Not surprised?
No,
absolutely not, man. Listen, as I just got done speaking on, they want Conor.
Fact.
They want Conor in that octagon by any means necessary. Now, if it means that Conor only got a test for 5 months instead of the typical 6 months, hey, we'll do whatever we have to do to make. Bro, I'm telling you, dude. I'm telling you, man. It's just real funny that every fighter on the day that this news broke said the exact same thing. Oh, Conor has that kind of pull.
Facts.
It's no secret. The whole thing that started it really was Conor not being in the testing pool. He's supposed to be fighting Michael Chandler. He was supposed to fight Michael Chandler months ago.
Yeah.
They were talking about them fighting at the end of the year. Well, when we found out he wasn't in the testing pool at that 6 month mark from December, we kind of already knew. Yeah. And we also kind of knew, well, Conor's coming off a broken leg. It usually takes 2 years. He's looking pretty jacked. He's obviously on something. I mean, and he's not jumping into the testing pool to fight Chandler. Something's up here. Oh, what coincidence. USADA and UFC are no longer in cahoots with each other. What a surprise. How convenient. How freaking convenient. Huh? What did you say? That's pretty convenient, Brad?
That is pretty convenient. In the press conference, the UFC brass cited several other concerns with USADA as well. The treatment of other athletes being required to give urine or blood samples at inopportune times. There is some investments that UFC was hoping would come through in terms of technology that USADA would just stonewall about these kind of business gripes. Do you think it truly is about Conor and Conor alone, or just accumulation of many unsavory aspects of the deal?
I think it's a combination of both, honestly.
Yeah.
To be perfectly honest. Listen, the UFC, You installed USADA for the reasons to make the sport safer, to make sure people are not cheating and stuff. It's your product
Fact.
that you put in place. So make it work. If you want to make the changes, hey, we are making these changes with or without you guys. Now, you guys chose to do it without them, and I applaud all the changes you're going to make, making it easier for the fighters. I would never sit here and bash, but you guys could have made that under the same umbrella. I didn't see the need to come out and make this a bigger deal.
Yeah,
I just did it. I feel like everything could have been resolved behind closed doors. It didn't need to be this public. USADA shouldn't have came out and said what they said. At the same time, I don't agree with how they did it and make it Connor the poster boy. But if there's smoke, there's fire, you know?
Right.
Like, it's just, I don't know, man. It's just, it was a mess. It'll be resolved. It's already resolved. They already moved on to a different testing company. I just think it's oddly convenient.
It's it's sports, man. People, it slips through the crack, drug tests, all this. I don't know, man.
There's gonna be more things that slip through the crack, honestly, too.
Facts.
I think that's I don't know this, but Khamzat Chimaev hasn't fought in 2 years.
Yeah.
Almost. It's been almost 2 years. Every single time we've been, where's Khamzat? Where's Khamzat? Where's Khamzat? Where's Khamzat? I can't prove this, but it makes me believe that something happened with him missing weight in his last fight when he fought Holland. Something happened to where he couldn't make weight. Whether he tested positive or something, or I think that was the breaking point right there. Something happened at that point. That was the point where things started to change to me, because you heard nothing about why this dude wasn't fighting for years, and there's just a lot of funny business with the UFC. One thing I've learned about the UFC, there's a lot of funny business within the UFC, and I wouldn't be surprised if there was more funny business. But I'll leave it at that. John Jones, I'm gonna get this last one. John Jones, you tested hot twice, bro. Not once, twice. So don't sit here, come back and tell them, hey, take my no contest off of my record. No, bro.
Yeah.
Not happening. Stop playing the victim, bro. You are almost 30. You're what, 36, almost 36 years old now, bro. Stop playing the victim.
Yeah.
Please spare us the victimization of John Jones, bro. You were a knucklehead back then and stuff like that, but don't sit here and make us try to feel sorry that you have a no contest on your record. You tested hot. Face the consequences, bro. That's just what it is. Own up to it and move on, bro. You're still all-time GOAT, man. It's not going to change.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But the picograms. The picograms, Aaron.
Hey, look. A failed test is a failed test. I don't care how much. If you came up hot for something, hey, that's on you, bro. Other fighters got to deal with it just like you do.
All right, I got one more bonus question to close out the UFC talk here. So you mentioned Connor's looking awfully beefy after his layoff. What's your projection on what weight he's ultimately fighting at when he comes back? Light heavyweight McGregor? Or what's going on?
Nah, 170.
170.
Yeah, I think welterweight. Welterweight would be. I don't think he wants to make that cut to 155 no more. I wouldn't want to either.
Nah.
Just surprising. I mean, he's
Could
a small
he make
dude.
it?
He's only like 5'9", but I don't know. 170 is more likely with.
Yeah.
He's looking awfully beefy now,
he
man.
does.
You see it all in his face and stuff like that, man.
Yeah.
Beefy Connor. I like beefy Connor. Hope he ain't stealing.
Yeah, probably 170. I don't know. I could see it. I could see it at 85 for some reason.
No, bro, come on,
dude. There was that clip on The Ultimate Fighter. Remember him and Chandler were talking. Chandler's like, "We can do welterweight," and McGregor's like, "How about middleweight?" And Chandler's like, "Yeah, we could do middleweight." And McGregor's like, "You'll do what you're told."
You do what I told. Yeah. Yeah. Connor owns a lot. Connor has a lot of pull. I don't think people really realize, man, how much pull Connor really has, man. That is Dana's boy, man.
Yeah.
They're like this.
Watch, it'll be like a 177 catch weight or some shit.
Probably. Whatever Connor wants, man. As long as he jumps into that octagon. That's all they care about. Anyway,
take us home.
That's
man.
it for the show. We're going long. That's it for the show. I've had enough. 2 beats, 1 drum. I'm Aaron.
J La Soul, man.
J La Soul. Catch us on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. Like, subscribe. We're on the YouTube. Of course, we're on YouTube stream, but we're on YouTube, Instagram. Follow us. Hit us up. Send your comments our way.
Yes, sir.
Actively responding to your thoughts of what we think about your team, my team, whatever team. We got a thought about it.
Go gamble on my picks.
Yeah. Go gamble on his picks. Don't gamble on mine. I'm not sure about mine, but I'm thinking I'm gonna have a bounce back week this week. Anyway, that's it. Peace. Thank you. See you guys hopefully next week.